All right, so Venus in Libra is conjunct the South Node, also in Libra. And we need to talk about how this relates both personally and on a global level. So, how is this affecting us individually? And how is it related to the greater picture? And also to the story of Palestine and other genocides and atrocities that are happening in our world, because it is connected, and I'm gonna speak into those pieces momentarily. But I want to start by just talking about what Venus in Libra is all about. So Venus in Libra, Venus is at home in Libra because she is the ruler of Libra. And while in Libra, we are all feeling a lot of feelings and desires and aspirations toward intimacy, toward family, connection, partnership, peace, harmony, equality. There's an overall arching theme in that direction and a push in that direction. We're also feeling any uncomfortable edges around where we haven't had those things, where we might not be feeling like our desires are being met, where we might not feel met in relationship. Those things are going to be up, and they're going to be hard to deny during this time. But especially because it's conjunct the South Node. Now, the nodes in astrology, we have the North Node and the South. The North is really the direction that we're encouraged to lean into. It's our growing edge. It might be uncomfortable, but it is also a point of growth and expansion. Whereas our South Node, it might feel more what we're used to. In certain ways, it might be more comfortable, but it's also getting uncomfortable because it's like it's a skin that we've outgrown, and we are in a chapter that we are being asked to let go of a lot of things around the South Node. And with the North Node being Aries, South Node being Libra, what we are asked to lean into is our leadership skills, our trailblazing skills, our warrior spirit. And this doesn't necessarily have to be about war and battle, but about being willing to stand up, step up, show out in relation to what we believe, what we feel, what we desire, what we choose. Even if, and especially if, that means going against the grain and being a trailblazer and being the first one out the gate, it's definitely not an energy that's about following the crowd. And it's about making sure that we take care of ourselves first and foremost, but that doesn't mean negating our integral part of the whole. And how we relate to others is a very Libra theme thing. But let's remember that just because we're leaning into the North Node doesn't mean we're supposed to deny all the aspects of the South Node. In fact, we're working on cleaning up our South Node story. So we're working on cleaning up our relationship stories, and also our relationship to peace, equality, balance, harmony. Let's remember that as we look at this from a global perspective, peace cannot be forged by one people having power or authority over another. Just as patriarchy doesn't really work, we've tried having the men on top and in charge, and we know where that leads us. There has to be a reckoning, a unity, a balance, a harmony that comes eventually at different layers, different levels, different chapters, but all of this is up. And so what we're finding right now with Venus conjunct the South Node in Libra, we are all being asked both personally and collectively to let go of a lot of our old stories around people pleasing and keeping peace at any cost, like trying just not to rock the boat, just doing what's comfy. Like, I'm okay if you're okay, except there's like this underlying unspoken tension and a lot of shit that's been swept under the rug. Another thing that's up right now is there is this With the South Node conjunct Venus in Libra, it's like old loves or old love stories that are surfacing, that are asking for our attention because there's something we can learn from the past here. And it's not necessarily that we are meant to revisit an old love or reconnect with an old story of our love and our love language. But we are meant to reflect on those things now so that we can learn from them and draw from them, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when we look at it from a personal perspective, it's like, what hasn't worked in the past for us in relationship? And where might there be things coming up where we might have the tendency to repeat those themes, especially if we're not, real careful. And so, also, when we look at it at a global perspective, here we have, today, as I make this video, is the International Day of Reconciliation, an international day of unity and solidarity with the Palestinian people. And this was established back in the 1970s by the UN. And here we are at this place where there has been this war and conflict with Palestine and Israel, and now there is a truce that has been put in place, but it's temporary, right? And as we look at things, as people are looking at things from a global perspective and how this relates to the history of our world, there has been so many times and so many stories where there has been like this sense of peace, like tried to be forged, but between bodies where you have one that's sort of like occupying and dominating and colonizing the land of the indigenous peoples. And this has been repeated throughout history all over our planet. And that kind of power over with the illusion of peace is never going to cut it. It's never going to work. Just like, patriarchy and what we've done on a global scale with a male dominant consciousness on this planet, it's imbalanced and it really isn't working. And then also on a personal level, we can look at how this relates to us in our own relationships. And it's not just about men or women, it's about power dynamics and power structures. And is there an even give and take? Is there balance? Is there harmony? Because Venus in Libra like pretty much demands that. She's willing to play out and dance out a lot of stories that aren't that in an attempt to learn what it means to do harmony and balance in relationships. Both personally and at large. And so all of these themes are really, really up right now. And the way that we can best work with this energy is to remember it's so important to lean into that North Node, to be willing to speak up, to speak out, to be a trailblazer, a blazer of truth, to forge paths where they haven't been forged before, because these are the times that we are living in. And we have a powerful, important opportunity. And this Aries cardinal fire energy is on our side. At the same time, it's Sagittarius season, which is our mutable fire sign, which is all about change and transformation, especially as it comes to belief systems and definitely affects governments and economies and all of this kind of stuff as well. It's big picture, big theme stuff. So all of that is up. And we've just had this full moon in Gemini as well, which is really illuminating the importance of using our voices, of speaking up, of communicating, of spreading and sharing information, knowledge, and wisdom. And as it comes to the global scale, it's important that we keep speaking up for a ceasefire, for free Palestine, for free the Congo, for free all people that have been unfairly and unjustly detained, held back from their land, colonized, all of this. It is time that we as a people evolve enough to move beyond this BS. And those of us that can see it need to speak about it and call it like it is. Yeah. All right. More soon.